Hey YouTube, John with Grunt Reviews here, and today we are bringing you the Desert Tech MDRX. Before we go any further, my standard statement, please go down below, click like, click subscribe, leave a comment, hit the notification bell, helps us with the YouTube algorithms, helps you see our latest content. Let's get into the rifle. So, this is a true multi-caliber platform. So this is from Desert Tech. This is the MDRX. It is the latest evolution of the MDR or microdynamic rifle line. This particular one is a 16-inch barrel chambered in .308, and of course it is the bullpup configuration. They also have a 223 or a 5.56 in a 16 or 20-inch configuration, 300 blackout in a 16-inch barrel. The .308 is available in the 16 or 20, and they have 6.5 Creedmoor as well, also available in a 20-inch barrel. All of them are now shipping with the ratchet compensator. This particular one is precision armament. I replaced the ratchet one, but it's a very nice compensator flash hider combo. Works pretty well. I'm just a big fan of these hyper taps. They're on all of my rifles. This one is fitted with a Scalar Works 34 millimeter tube mount. This is the 1.5 inch or 1.53 height, and it does have a Vortex Razor 1-10. It is the Gen 3 version. That is our preferred optic here on the Grunt Reviews channel. But let's get into the rifle itself. So bullpups are a fantastic way of shrinking a rifle down and making it a lot easier to use, whether that's getting in and out of a truck, whether that's a CQB type situation, even a home defense type situation. In those nice close quarters, you get a full-size rifle in a SBR size without messing with any of the issues of the SBR, lower velocities, the tax stamp, the ATF, the long weight, all of that good stuff. The other nice thing about these is they have a California compliant version essentially. It adds the featureless grip, and it is the 20-inch barrel, and it comes with the 10-round mag instead of the 20 that it ships with. What I really like about this rifle is it's very balanced. So moving the chamber and everything into the rear of it makes it very easy to operate, very easy to hold against your shoulder, even one-handed. And with the weight being centralized to the rear, you don't get that fatigue. So you'll see guys out there C-clamping, and if you try to do that for any extended period of time, you slowly walk your way back because a lot of that weight is forward, unlike a traditional AR platform rifle. This keeps it all right next to your shoulder, very easy, cuts down on the fatigue for sure. It does ship with one 20-round mag, and I do want to talk about my first con of this rifle. It does not like 25-round PMags, and it really doesn't like 25-round PMags with extensions on them. I believe somebody else had the same issue. Desert Tech actually commented it's something about the geometry of the magazine that it doesn't like. The first couple rounds, you'll get weird jams out of it. And to be honest, when I first got the rifle, I popped this particular magazine into it and had issues, went, oh crap, this is not a good thing. So the MDR, when they very first came out, were known for having a lot of interesting issues, feeding issues, reliability issues, and Desert Tech went ahead and fixed those rifles, put all those fixes together, and came out with the MDRX. But it is something to be aware of with magazine selection. So the 20-round PMag that comes with it works perfectly, and I've also found it likes the 25-round Lancer magazines. Seems to run these loaded all the way up with 25 just fine. So something to consider. And then the smaller ones, the 10-round hex mags and PMags all seem to work fine, but for your knowledge, I have passed that along. So what makes this rifle really cool is it is 100% ambidextrous. So the charging handle is a flip-up style, and it is on both sides. Safety, same way. The magazine release, there's actually technically three. There's a right side, there is a left side, and then there is a rear magazine release just in front of the magazine well itself. And ejection. So they actually have two options on ejection. They've come out with a side eject, which is your traditional, just out the side, very similar to like a Tavor. This one is actually the forward eject. So the little port here pops open and it actually ejects it forward. What's really nice is right-handed shooters, obviously not an issue, but if you do have to transition for some reason, it will still push brass away from you instead of launching it into your teeth and you ending up with some free dental work. The other really cool thing is this is completely changeable from left hand or right hand with no tools. Something as simple as a piece of brass. You pop this cover off, you pop this cover off the same way, you flip sides, and you are done. Boom, changed over. No need to mess with the bolt or anything else like you get into some of the other rifles. Caliber changes. So the other cool thing, as I mentioned, these were available in multiple calibers. You can also buy a caliber conversion kit. So you can order the barrel for like a 5.56. There's actually a magwell spacer and a separate magwell and obviously a separate bolt. But you can order that whole kit, and in about 15 minutes, you can change that over to a 223. You can change it over to a 300 Blackout, 6.5 Creedmoor, whatever your preferred round is. So that is a very cool feature. The other one they put in for that type stuff is you have the top rail, you have the handguard rail, and right here you actually have a piece of rail directly attached to the barrel. They make their own red dot and red dot mount that fits this. So the cool thing is if you are running multiple calibers, you can buy that mount, zero a red dot, it's something small like an RMR, zero a red dot to it, and when you change out barrels, at least you know that that particular red dot is zeroed to that particular caliber. Obviously, if you're running like a low power variable or even a high power optic or a traditional red dot sight like an aim point, you will have to re-zero each time, but it's nice to kind of have that little backup piece up there. Other very cool thing is this is an adjustable gas system. So on the MDR, there was not a window cut here. You had to go in, pull the handguard off of it, adjust your gas, reassemble it. Now they've actually put this nice cutout in, an Allen wrench, spare round laying around, anything can be used to adjust it. It is a 6 position. They have 3 main positions. They have normal, adverse, and suppressed. And then they have a notch in between each one of those. So adverse is if the gun's starting to really get dirty, provides a little bit more gassing. Obviously suppressed cuts it down for use with a suppressor, and normal is normal, and they allow you to fine tune that. So if you need just a little bit less or just a little bit more for your particular ammunition, you are able to change that. Another very cool and well thought out feature. In terms of the gun itself, I have very little in the way of complaints outside of the initial feeding issues with that 25 round PMAG. I've had no other issues with this thing going forward. Shoots great. Thanks to the ammo crunch of 2020, I haven't gotten to run a whole bunch of really good ammunition through it. And you can actually see down below in some of our other videos of me actually shooting it. But it does like a little bit heavier round in 308. Does like a 168, 175, 180 grain round. So keep that in mind when you are purchasing it. The Milsurp ammo, your 147 grain, your 150 grain, it does okay with, but the group does start to open up. About 2.5, 3 MOA at 100 yards. The 168 and 175 grain, I ran about 20 rounds of the federal gold medal match. Was seeing about a 1 to a 1.5 inch grouping. I don't know if that is standard for this, as I need to put some more rounds through it, but for a battle rifle type setup, very, very accurate. And as it should be. Desert Tech is known for building some very, very high-end precision bolt action rifles. So, standard procedure on the channel, with all of our reviews going forward, we are going to measure the trigger on it, and that's one area where Desert Tech did very, very well with this rifle. So one of the big complaints with bullpup designs is crappy triggers. The reason for this is we've moved our trigger up front, our fire control group and our bolt assembly is still back here, so there's a big long bar that has to operate that adds that extra slop, that extra feel to it, and Desert Tech has done a very good job with this trigger. It is hard, very, very hard to match a good quality match grade AR style trigger, but they have done a pretty good job in replicating this. So, double check that this is clear. We will rack her forward and let's see what she weighs out at. All right. And so, first break, 5 pounds, 7 ounces. We'll get her down a little bit lower where I normally like to shoot this. So, 4 pounds, 15.9 ounces, so close to 5. And one last one. That one was right at 5 pounds, 4 ounces. I believe they state that this is a 5.5 pound trigger. This does have a little bit of ammunition through it, so I will say that it's probably pretty close to 5. There are some companies out there, I believe Jard is doing an aftermarket adjustable match style trigger for it. But truly and honestly, out of the box, it is more than enough in the way of a good trigger to really not have to worry about messing with it. The trigger itself is kind of what you'd expect out of a military style trigger. It's got just a little bit of take up, little bit of creep, and then a nice smooth break, and a nice easy reset, very similar to like an AK, and then a nice smooth break again. Very, very happy with the trigger out of the box. The other thing is, you'll notice here it actually does have 2 bolt releases. So it has a slot up on the top here, very similar to like an MP5 if you want to lock the bolt back there, and it has a separate one in the rear for when the magazine is inserted. And you can see it here when the bolt locks back on an empty mag, that's what you have. So it makes reloading it very easy. You can strip your old mag out either through the mag release here or through the mag release on either side if you prefer the AR type position. And as you're ramming that new mag home, it naturally puts your thumb right on top of that bolt release. It's very easy to ride the bolt home and get back on it. Only other thoughts that I have on this, it is a bit of a pain to put a sling on just due to its small size. I'm probably going to put a M-Lock QD adapter up here on the front just to do something a little bit easier with it. And then muzzle brake wise, I did pull off the factory one. The factory Desert Tech compensator is a very good unit. There are better ones out there, but it is nice that they include it. This particular one is a Precision Armament Hyper Tap, and I absolutely love this thing. With this muzzle brake on it and with the gas system properly adjusted, very, very easy to shoot rapidly and take those follow-up shots without a whole bunch of muzzle rise or point of aim shift. Only other thing that I would really like to mention, and this is kind of a complaint, but the safety, I wish it was a little bit more positive. When you hit it real quick, you get a nice positive feel. You can feel the detent working, but if you're trying to take it off very slowly, it kind of gets stuck somewhere in the middle. I wish that had a little bit more of an AR style feel to it, maybe a little bit better detent, a little bit better cutout. It is polymer, so that does factor into it a little bit, or it is polymer in that area, I should say. Not really a huge thing, kind of getting nitpicky there, but that's kind of my one con that I don't like about it. And the other small one is you lose a lot of rail space. That is the nature of a bullpup. It is what it is. If you're one of the guys that needs to hang a light and a PEC 15 and 8,000 other things off the front of your gun, that is where it will be a little bit more difficult. What is very nice is for the longer barrels or for the guys that are running suppressed, they do offer a longer handguard. So if you wanted to hide some of that suppressor underneath the handguard, you can go to a longer handguard. This is the short one. I believe they're about $70 from Desert Tech directly, and I'm sure as dealers get more and more of them in, you'll start to see them pop up at Desert Tech dealers. Guys, outside of that, that's all I got. Same deal. You'll see our subscribe. You'll see another review video to watch. Guys, obviously like and subscribe us, but anybody that's putting out 2A content, this channel, any channel, please click like, please click subscribe. That helps all of us as a 2A community. Otherwise, guys, stay safe, train hard, and have a Merry Christmas.